Hi, everyone. My name is Skylar Capita, and today I'm excited to share with you my environmental leadership incubator project, Ecological Litera-seeing for Yourself, which was developed and installed through the unwavering backing and support of Coal Oil Point Reserve. Now, before getting into the brunt of the presentation, let's start off with a simple question. Just take a few seconds and think to yourself, how many of the following icons can you name? Now, I'm no fortune teller, but I've got a pretty solid inclination that you're able to name close to all of these logos, likely because we're bombarded with marketing and advertising for them on a near daily basis. Now, let's repeat that exact same exercise, but this time using this set of images. Now, unless you've been brushing up on your local species ID, in which case I absolutely commend and applaud you, chances are that you are able to name a lot fewer of those icons, or in this case, species, than the previous batch, all of which are actually found quite literally in UCSB's backyard, meaning that you're likely face to face with them just as much as the previous batch, despite knowing significantly fewer. So why is this? Well, my project was born from that exact gap. A community-wide disconnect from the natural richness of our campus, wherein people are unequipped with the necessary linguistic tools to demystify the proverbial green blur of nature. To address this, my big picture goal was to increase ecological literacy at UCSB, helping students and community members alike become more aware of their surroundings and, in turn, more likely to act in environmentally conscious ways. To ground this, ecological literacy is a term coined by two UC educators back in the 90s, referring to our understanding of natural systems and our connections to them. So here's what that vision looks like. In outcome A, we have a campus with low ecological literacy outreach, meaning that information isn't widely available, curiosity is minimal, and systems, and by proxy their components, go largely unseen. However, in outcome B, when we insert ecological literacy into the equation, we equip people with the tools to drive deeper comprehension, engagement, and a stronger relationship between themselves and the place they call home. Or in other words, when you're aware, you care. This was the mountain I set out to climb. In order to accomplish this, initially, I planned to conduct a baseline ecological literacy survey of the UCSB community, then install 30 plant ID placards and 10 bird ID placards, with a goal to improve awareness by 25% by the year's end. However, as I soon came to realize, as in the case of any real-world project, plans frequently change. Now, the project consists of the design and imminent installation of 44 plant placards and 14 bird placards covering 46 unique species, and perhaps most meaningfully, incorporating 17 Smuich and Alapuasca names in collaboration with indigenous Chumash representatives. The introduction of native visibility into one of this project's objectives enriched the project far beyond what I initially envisioned, expanding it into something more culturally grounded and opening my eyes to a far too neglected component of many environmental outreach programs. Throughout the process, I learned just how much labor, thought, and collaboration goes into public science communication. I spent endless hours mulling over which species to include, coordinating translations, perpetually redesigning templates, and working directly with mentors and community leaders to ensure that accuracy and respect were held in paramount importance. I would like to think that the results speak for themselves. Signs that aren't just informative, but rather inviting, reflective, and accurately representative. So, what comes next for the project? Well, the final signs will soon be printed through Lark Signs, after which they'll be installed across the pond trail at Coal Oil Point, which will ideally be preceded and followed up with a brief pre- and post-installation survey to attempt to measure and quantify my real-world impact. This is where my intention meets measurable change. Now, with regards to key takeaways, a few lessons really stood out for me. First, listening is leadership, especially when working across multiple disciplines and cultures. Secondly, science communication is all about balance. Too little information loses meaning, and too much overwhelms. It is a super delicate blend. And finally, the most valuable skill, the ability to see things through. Throughout my journey, there were so many moments where things could have stalled, and in countless instances did. From missed grant submissions to untimely mental health collapses, there were myriad moments where I questioned whether or not my project would ever come to fruition at all. However, through it all, deep down, I remained undeterred, confident in my hard work, and confident that it would be validated insofar as I was just able to follow through. Now, plain and simple, this project wouldn't have been possible without the invaluable support of the Environmental Leadership Incubator Project, the Coal Oil Point Reserve Leadership Team, UCSB's Coastal Fund, the American Indian and Indigenous Collective, and many other individual collaborators, all of whom were invaluable for making this happen in the first place. Now, before I conclude, I just wanted to leave you all with this slide detailing the contact information of four truly exceptional individuals, all of whom greatly assisted with the project in some form or another. If this talk has inspired you to get involved with the reserve, I cannot recommend it enough. Dr. Sandoval has built an exceptional program with abundant opportunities for undergraduate development, and the entire reserve staff are incredibly knowledgeable resources. If you're interested in learning more about UCSB's American Indian and Indigenous Collective, Tara Sage Wallen is an awesome point person for that. They are super knowledgeable and always happy to talk to curious individuals. If you're looking to dive even deeper into Indigenous stewardship, Mia Lopez is an absolutely incredible resource, really just a gem. Certified naturalist, former tribal chair of the Coastal Band of Chumash Indians, and founder of The Space, a really cool organization dedicated to preserving, promoting, and celebrating Chumash culture. Mia is a truly exemplary cultural educator and an awesome person to reach out to if you want to learn more. Another person I'm absolutely compelled to shout out is James Yee, another truly exceptional human being, a U.S. Army veteran, former chairman of the Barbareño Band of Chumash Indians, and current linguistics graduate student at UCSB studying the revitalization of the Alaphuasca language. I would highly recommend that you read his thesis, Language and Identity in the Barbareño Chumash Language Community, whenever you get the opportunity. Now, with all of that said, the entire impetus for this project was about helping people see, not just with their eyes, but with their minds and hearts. When we notice and understand the world around us, we begin to care for it. And that is exactly where change starts. Thank you.